Hi children, welcome to our online classes for class 6, chapter 3. In this chapter we are discussing about the numbers and its properties, some special type of numbers. Last few classes we are discussing about composite and prime numbers, even and odd numbers, and all we discussed, and their properties, co-prime numbers, twin primes, prime triplets, these type of all pairs of numbers also we discussed. And at the end of the last class we started the divisibility test. Last class we have discussed already the divisibility test for 2, 5, 10 and 3 also. In this class the remaining divisibility test we are going to see. First, we are going to see the divisibility test for divisibility by 6. Divisibility by 6. What is meant by divisibility by 6? Actually, divisibility by 6 means if a number is given, any number of digits, any big number is given, how can we check whether that number is divisible by 6 or not? Divisible by 6 means whenever we are dividing that number by 6, it should not leave any remainder. We could divide it completely. So to check that, we have to check for the divisibility by 3 and 2. So that is the divisibility test for 6. There is no other extra divisibility test. We just have to check whether that number is divisible by 3 and 6. 3 and 2. That means if a number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then that number is divisible by 6. We have already studied the divisibility test of 2. What is the divisibility test of 2? The last digit, the ones place digit is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. First, if a number is given, we have to check that. What is the last digit? If it is either 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then it is divisible by 2. Now check whether the number is divisible by 3. How can we check that number is divisible by 3? By adding all the digits in that number, and that sum is a multiple of 3, then it is divisible by 3. Then both the test for 2 and 3 is passed. That means it is divisible by 6 also. We can check an example. Check whether this number is divisible by 6 or not. For that, first we have to check the divisibility by 2. Here the last digit is 4. That means it is an even number, so it is divisible by 2. So we can write divisible by 2 because the last digit is 4. Now check the divisibility by 3. To check the divisibility by 3, add all the digits. 2 plus 4 plus 0 plus 8 plus 4 is equal to 2 plus 4, 6. 6 plus 0, 6 plus 8, 14 plus 4, 18. And we know that 18 is a multiple of 3 because 3 6 are 18. So that means this number is divisible by 3 also. So it is divisible by 3. The reason is the sum we got 18 and 18 is a multiple of 3. Therefore, this number is divisible by 3 also. That means the number 24,084 84 is divisible by 2 and it is divisible by 3. Therefore, what is this 3 dot? It implies therefore, then 24084, 24,084 is also divisible by 6. So that is the divisibility test for 6. If a number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then that number is also divisible by 6. Okay, now let us see the divisibility test for 4. Divisibility test for the number 4. Divisibility for the number 4. How can we check whether a number is divisible by 4 or not? To check a number is divisible by 4 or not, we have to consider the last 2 digits of a number, and the number formed by the last 2 digits is divisible by 4. Then that number is divisible by 4. You may be confused. Let us check an example. 2, 6, 3, 4, 8. If you want to check whether this number, this is a big number, 26,348. How can we check? Is it possible to divide this number by 4 exactly? The first method, you can divide it directly and check whether there is any remainder comes or not. That is the usual method. But before that, before going for actual division, by looking at this number itself, we can understand. For that, you consider the last 2 digits, the number formed by last 2 digits of 26,348. What is the number formed by last 2 digits? That is 48. And check whether 48 is a multiple of 4 or 48 can be divided by 4 or not. We know that 12 fours are 12 into 4 is equal to 48. That means 48 is divisible by 4. Therefore, this entire number is divisible by 4. So we can write 48 is divisible by 4. Therefore, 26,348 is divisible by 4. So, to check the divisibility with the 4, look at the last number formed by the last 2 digits. That is, here it is 48 and 48 is a multiple of 4. So, it is divisible by 4. Another example. 2,708. In this case, it is very easy. The number formed by last 2 digits, 08. 08 is a multiple of 4. 08 means only 8. 8 is a multiple of 4. 2 4s are 8. So this entire number is divisible by 4. That is the divisibility test by 4. Divisibility rule for 4. Now, divisibility rule for 9. Check. Okay, before 9, let us check the divisibility test for 8. How can we check whether a number is divisible by 8 or not? Just the same as the divisibility test of 4, but in the case of 8, the difference is instead of last 2 digits, we have to consider 3 digits. Last 3 digits in a number. Number formed by the last 3 digits of a number is divisible by 8, then that number is divisible by 8. For example, 1,200,048. So it is not 1,000, 12,048. This is a big number. And how can we check whether the number is divisible by 8 or not? Instead of considering entire number, we just consider the last 3 digits. Number formed by last 3 digits is 048. 048. That means only 48. And 48 is a multiple of 8. We know that 6 8s are 48. So 48 is divisible by 8. Understand? 48 is a multiple of 8. Therefore 12048. 12,048 is divisible by 8. Another example. 37256. You have to check. Actually, the divisibility test by 8 is simple in some cases, but some division, some type of division, some mental division in mind, if you are able to divide some big numbers, then it is easy. Otherwise, you have to go for some actual division in this case also. Here, 256, the number formed by the last 2 digits. Check whether 256 is a multiple of 8 or not. How can we check? 256 is a multiple of 8 or not. How we will check? We don't know. We cannot recite the multiplication table up to 256. So you have to divide 256 manually. Actually, it is simpler than that of dividing the entire number. Here we have to just divide the last 3 digits and check. 3 times 24, then 1, 16, 2 times 16, 0, 0. So 256 is a multiple of 8. That means 37,256 is divisible by 8. Can write 37,256 is divisible by 8. Actually, the divisibility test of 4 and 8 is somewhat same. In case of 4, the number formed by last 3 digits, 2 digits is divisible by 4. In 8, number formed by last 3 digits is divisible by 8. Understand? And also one more thing, if a number is not divisible by 4 or 2, then it is not divisible by 8 also. If a number is not divisible by 4, then it is not divisible by 8. So if a number is given, you can check first whether it is divisible by 2. If it is not divisible by 2, it's sure it is not divisible by 8. And you can check with the 4 also. If it is not divisible by 4, then no need to go for the divisibility test by 8. Okay. Now divisibility of divisibility test by 9. The divisibility test by 9 is actually same as that of the divisibility test by 3. In 3, how we are checking? We are adding all the digits. In case of 9 also, we have to add all the digits in that number, and that sum is a multiple of 9, or it is divisible by 9. Actually, you know, the next divisibility test, what I am going to say, is very interesting one. You have to listen carefully, otherwise you will not get. It is very interesting because it is the divisibility test for 11. 11. What is the divisibility test for 11? Whether a number is divisible by 11 or not. You know the multiplication table of 11. 1 11 11, 2 11, 22, then 3 11 33, 4 11 44, 5 11 55, 6 11 66. Like that it is going on. And 11 11s are 121. Like that, the 11's table is going on. But up to 121, maybe for us it is easy to say whether the number is divisible by 11 or not. Then bigger number comes. How can we check? That you have to check, you have to add the sum of the digits in the even places and odd places from right. Then find the difference between that sum. If the difference between that sum is 0 or a multiple of 11, then the number is divisible by 11. So here one example we can check. 1331, 1331. Whether this number is divisible by 11 or not. You have to check the even and odd places. Odd means 1, 1s, 3s, 5, 1, 3, 5, etc. like that. So suppose instead of Indian place value system, from right, if you are numbering the places using the whole number, the natural numbers, then this will be the first place, and this is second place, and this is third place, and this is fourth place, like that. Not using place value system. Place value system is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, like that. Just leave that. Just number the places from right to left. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. First place, second place, third place, fourth place. Now consider odd places. Odd place. Sum of odd place digits. The digits in the odd place. What are the digits in the odd place? 1. One's place, first place, that is 1. The digit is 1. Then, which is the next step, odd place after 1, then 3. Third place, that is 3 itself. So, the sum is 4. Now, even places, digits in the even places, digits in the even places. Even place means second place and fourth place. Second place it is 3 and fourth place it is 1. So 3 plus 1, 4. Now find the difference. Difference means subtract this. Find this difference. You will get 0. If this number is big, then this minus this. You will get, here it is 0. That means it is divisible by 1331 is divisible by 11. Understood? Check any other number. Suppose 7, 4, 3, 8, 2, 1. Now see on 7. Now see one's first place, second place, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. These are the places. So odd places. What are the numbers in odd places? What are the numbers in odd places? Odd. First place 7. Then third place 8. Then fifth place 4. Add all this. 7 plus 8, 15 plus 4, 19. And now check even places numbers. Even place, second place 2. Then fourth place it is 3. Then sixth place plus 7. So if you add this, what you will get? 2 plus 3. 5 plus 7, 12. Find the difference. 19 minus 12 you will get 7. And you know that if it is divisible by 11, it must be 0. Otherwise, a multiple of 11. Suppose we are getting this difference 11, then that means this is divisible by 11. Or if you are getting the difference is 22, then also the number is divisible by 11. Understand? Otherwise, if it is divisible by, if it is 0, then also it is divisible by 11. Here it is 7, so it is not divisible by 11. This is the divisibility test by 11. Now, another 2-digit number. So what would be a big number? Divisibility by 25. How can we check whether a number is divisible by 25 or not? To check that, we check the last digit in that last two digits in that number. Just like force divisibility test. Here is an example: 24760. Here the last number, the number formed by last two digits is 60. That means it is not divisible by 25. If it is divisible by 25, the last two digits must be either 0, 0, 0 or 25 or 50 or 75. Any of these four combination 0, 0, 2, 5, 0 or 7, 5. Either of these pairs of digits comes in the last place, means that number is divisible by 25. Suppose here it is 0, 0. That means number is divisible by 25. If it is 5, 0, then also it is divisible by 25. If it is 7, 5, then it is divisible by 25. Okay, so that is the divisibility test by 25. Okay, children, so we have completed all the divisibility test. Now we can check some properties of divisibility items. Okay, now some general properties of this divisibility test. First one, if a number is divisible by another number, then each factor of that number is also divisible by that number. For example, 12 is a factor of 36. 12 is a factor of 36. That means 36 is divisible by 12. 36 is divisible by 12. Now check the factors of 12. We know that factors of 12 are, what are the factors of 12? 1 is a factor of 12, 2 and 3, 4, 6 and 12. These are the factors of 12. Why these are the factors of 12? We can divide 12 by 1, we can divide 12 by 2, we can divide 12 by 3, 4 with the 6 with the 12. So the factors of 12 are all this. And 12 at the same time 12 is a factor of 36. That means 36 is divisible by 12. Now 36 is divisible by 12. Therefore 36 is also divisible by all the factors of 12. That means 36 is divisible by 1, 36 is divisible by 2, 36 is divisible by 3, 36 is divisible by 4, 36 is divisible by 6, 36 is divisible by 12. So if a number is divisible by another number, then that first number is also divisible by all the factors of the second number. Understood? That is the first property. So, here is an example. 36 is divisible by 12. Therefore, all the factors of 12, if you take, then 36 is divisible by all that factors. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. That is the first general property. And next, another property is, if a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, then that number is also divisible by the product of that two co-prime numbers. For example, if you take 56, 56 is a number, and if 56, we know that 56 is divisible by 4 and 56 is divisible 7 also. We know that 56 is divisible by 4. That means we can divide 56 by 4 completely without leaving a remainder. And 56 is also divisible by 7. Because 8 sevens are 56, we know that. So 56 is divisible by both 4 and 7. That means, and we know that 4 and 7 are co-prime. Why 4 and 7 are co-prime? Because the factors of 4 are 1, 2, 4. The factors of 7 are 1 and 7. They have only one common factor, that is 1. That means 4 and 7 are co-prime numbers. Understood? 7 and 4 are co-prime numbers. At the same time, 56 is divisible by 4 and 56 is divisible by 7. That means 56 is also divisible by the product of the co-prime numbers, 4 into 7. What is 4 into 7? That is 28. Means 56 is also divisible by 28. Understood? That is the next property. First property what we said, if a number is divisible by another number, then that first number is also divisible by all the factors of the second number. Then second property, if a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, then that number is also divisible by their product, the product of their co-prime numbers. That is the next property. And another property is, if two numbers are divisible by a number, if two numbers are divisible by a number, then their sum also divisible by that number. For example, 12 is divisible by 6. 12 is divisible by 6, and we know that 18 is also divisible by 6. 12 is divisible by 6, 18 is also divisible by 6. That means if you add this 12 plus 18, what you will get? You will get 30, and 30 is also divisible by 6. Understood? If two numbers are divisible by same number, for example, 12 is divisible by 6, 18 is also divisible by 6, then 12 plus 18, 30, then 30 also divisible by 6. That is next property. And the next one is also same. If two number is divisible by a number, then their difference is also divisible by that number. 12 is divisible by 6, 18 is divisible by 6. Then what is the difference between 18 and 12? 18 minus 12 is equal to 6. That is also divisible by 6. These are the general properties. So 4 general properties we have discussed about the divisibility test. Just to go through, rewind the class once again and again and read the textbook clearly. Then you will understand clearly. Now you have to do the exercise 3C as homework. Exercise 3C as homework. First question, choose the correct option. 243. 243 is divisible by first option 4, then second option 8, and third option 9, and fourth option 10. Out of these 4 numbers, this 243 is divisible by which number? It is not divisible by 4, we know, because 43 is not divisible by 4, and it is not divisible by 8 also, because it is not divisible by 4. If it is not divisible by 4, now we need to check 8. And 10, it is not divisible because here it is 3. Last digit must be 0. And for 9, we have to check 2 plus 6, 2 plus 4 6, 6 plus 3 9, total is 9, 9 is a multiple of 9, so it is divisible by only 9. Like that, the remaining all questions somewhat same. You check, and if any doubt, you call me, you try yourself. Okay, complete that exercise. Okay, that's all for the class today, and I will give you the note following this session in the slide. You can write it down. Thank you. Okay, children, write down the notes for today. Today we have discussed about the divisibility rules. First one, the divisibility rule for 6. That is, if a number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then the number is also divisible by 6. Here is examples. If you look at 18, 18 is an even number, so it is divisible by 2, and 18 is a multiple of 3, so it is also divisible by 3. Therefore, we can say that it is divisible by 6. Next number, 2316. Last digit is 6, so it is divisible by 2. And if you add all these digits, 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 6, you will get 2 plus 3 5 plus 1 6 plus 6 12. 12 is a multiple of 3, so it is divisible by 3 also, and therefore it is divisible by the 2316 is divisible by 6 also. Now divisibility rule for 9. If the sum of the digits of a number is a multiple of 9, then the number is divisible by 9. Here are two examples. 2709. If you add 2 plus 7 9 plus 0 9 plus 9 18. 18 is a multiple of 9, so it is divisible by 9. That is, 2709 is divisible by 9. Next number also, 3 plus 6 9 plus 4 13 plus 5 18. So 18 is a multiple of 9, so the number is divisible by 9. Then we have discussed about the divisibility rule for 4. The number formed by the last two digits of a number is a multiple of 4, then the number is divisible by 4. Here if you look at the examples, 108, the number formed by last two digits 08, and 08 means 8. It is a multiple of 4, so the number 108 is divisible by 4. 2432, last two digits 32, 32. 32 is a multiple of 4, so 2432 is divisible by 4. Then divisibility rule for 8. The number formed by the last three digits is a multiple of 8, then the number is divisible by 8. Here 1016, the number formed by last three digits 016, that is 16, that is a multiple of 8, so the number is divisible by 8. Second example, 2408, last three digits 408. 408, if you divide by 8, it is divisible, so the number 2408 is a multiple of 8, or it is divisible by 8. Then divisibility rule for 11. If the difference between the sum of the digits at the odd places from the right and even places of a number is either 0 or 11, then the number is divisible by 11. Here example, 46,343. Sum of digits in odd places 3 plus 3 plus 4, that is 10. Sum of digits in even places 4 plus 6, that is 10. So the difference between 10 and 10, 10 minus 10, 0. So 46,343 is divisible by 11. And on the board also I shown you some example. I think you understood. You just revise it, and if you have any doubt, call me. And divisibility rule for 25. If the number formed by the last two digits of a number are 0025, 50 or 75, then the number is divisible by 25. Here example 100, 125, 150, 275, 375, any number you can take. They are divisible by 25. So children, these are the notes for today. And also at the end of the class we have discussed some common properties, general properties of divisibility test, that from the textbook itself you study. And the homework I already told, that exercise, next exercise, I think 3C, try to complete it, and if any doubt, call me. And this week itself you should submit your notes, completed notes. Thank you. Have a nice day.